issue for me. First time I threw a guy and watched his humerus drop down from his shoulder about 6 inches, I said, that boy's not going to play judo for a long, long time. And it was off one of my drop soinagis. Okay? That's a horrible thing to have to experience and deal through from either side. Okay? Messes up people's lives forever, both of us. And that's just one of those memories you don't want to have. And it's one of those memories you don't want to have to live through with the hospital and recovery and all that fun stuff. So, for you instructors, and the way I teach, I always keep this target in mind. Okay? Everybody, no matter where you are and what you're doing, you have a safe zone. That's where you go. At your comfort chair, sitting in front of the tube, or whatever it is you do, on the mat. We all have safe zones where we feel perfectly safe. If I have a new guy that comes in, he wants to randori with me, Finn, very interesting guy. I've been playing judo for forever. And since I've been at the Optimist Club, what, 2 years, 2.5 years, he finally asked me to randori. Okay, this is a guy that's been over and done a lot of Blackwater stuff over in the Middle East and Africa, and I mean, he ain't afraid of nothing. And he's got very good feet, very good player, not real technical and smooth, but very good. And so we started moving, and I didn't lock him out, but I didn't stop him. I let him come in and move, and I just moved. And then I started letting him move me. And so he's whacking me, bam, bam, bam. And the more he couldn't throw me, the harder he hit. I said, okay, so now I started moving out of the way. It hurts after a while, all right? And then all of a sudden I would do some things and, you know, just checking his balance. He's very quick. I mean, athletically, he's on that genetic curve that we'd all like to be on, okay? And all of a sudden, whoop, he fell down. I don't even know how to throw him. It just did, okay? And when we finished, everybody had stopped what they're doing and was watching us. Because Finn always just slams everybody all over the floor. And a week later, he told me that was the best randori session he'd had in 20 years. Because we just moved. But I stayed in a safe zone. He stayed in a safe zone, kind of testing and feeling. Then it kind of escalates. His ego escalated. I understood that. I backed mine off, didn't match his. Let him play and play and play until he threw himself. All right? I stayed in my safe zone. I didn't let him hurt me. Kept good distance, understood all that, knew exactly what I was doing. Played safe, let him play. He felt good. We walked away. Boom. A lot of respect for each other. So there's different ways to use this safe zone. You can protect yourself. There's ways to do that. Now, great big strong guys, you're not getting close to me. Every time he moves, he's going to shove me 6 miles away. And he's not going to launch me off the floor. All right? But understand here, not a whole lot of growth takes place. In fact, it's more like no growth takes place. You got to step outside that safety zone and start moving a little bit and to get into a learning zone. You've got to leave your safe zone. If you want to know if you're going to get thrown, put a foot out there and find out if they throw you. Take the fall. You learn. Okay? If you want to find out if you can do something, make the motion. In randori, when you're doing free practice and you know they're not trying to kill you and you're doing a true randori session, you're going to get thrown. That's where you're learning. And you do it over and over. And if you can't figure out why, you stop and ask, let's practice this, and then move on. That's your learning zone. Now, when some guy comes at you, like a football player, and they're going all out to trash you into a wall and slam you, you go into a panic zone. Even I will. Okay, because I'm going to shut them down. And if I come at some of you guys, some of you I ain't going to come close to because I know I'll get a finger in my eye. I know better. Okay? But I can put you in a panic zone real quick where you're out of control and you can't move. Now you're not thinking again. You're trying to protect yourself. So now you're not learning again. And when you get in a twilight zone, I mean, ain't nothing happening out there. It scares people to death. And I've seen people scared to death when they get thrown really hard. And they come back, oh yeah, I'm okay. You know, and get up for some more, but they're really not okay. Your body doesn't like that. We're on a ropes course, pamper pole. Anybody know what the pamper pole is? It's called the pamper pole because when they invented it, by the time you got up on that pole, you felt like you needed Pampers. Okay? Now that's not the element, it's just getting on the pole. Now what you do is you take a 25-foot pole, actually it's a 30-foot pole, 5 feet in the ground, okay? And it's about 8 inches around at the top. And you got staples to climb up. And you got to stand on it. Okay? And that thing's going, right? Now you're on a belay system, so if you fall, somebody's going to catch you. Your brain doesn't understand that yet. All right? And there's a trapeze over there. And you got to jump and grab that trapeze. So once you get up on that pole and you're saying, I got to jump and grab that trapeze, meanwhile you're holding onto this rope because it's the only thing you got, and then jump, that's pretty scary. Well, I was doing one of the high school cheerleading groups on the ropes course. All the girls get up there, whee, poof, jump down, whee, jump, come down, whee, jump. Okay, and now they say, sponsor, Janet. She gets up there, works to get up there, freezes, complete shutdown. 2.5 hours later, the sun was setting. The kids' parents are coming to pick the kids up, and she's still up there. She finally got off. Okay? But I mean, here. That's what I'm talking about. This happens to people on the mat sometimes. You grab a guy all of a sudden, like, if I didn't know any better at the time, I was a judo player, when Ruska would grab me on the mat and just play with me like a kid. I mean, it's like a cat batting a little ball around. That's what he'd do to me. You know, I enjoyed it. But some people, they can't stand being out of control like that, or being that close to some guy's face. And you know, it puts them up there pretty quick. And so as an instructor or as a teacher, and we're all teachers in this room, you have to make some quick assessments as to where you are and where they are. And then what do we need to do to keep them here and not here? And with the way helicopter parents are today, and with the way society is today, and a lot of other things, people tend to hover around this line. You know, they don't get very far away because, you know, you're looking at varying degrees of different things, and it doesn't take much to get across to get into those different zones. But then once you get past here into panic zone, there's really not much learning, so you've got to really read people and bring it down. So understand that while you're working with people. Make sure you're treating them fairly and nicely, mutual benefit and welfare. Okay, so we can all stay here, and it really does help. Who was it? Jean. First time I played Aikido, man, that woman scared me to death.
Jean Fielder?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. My wrist hurt for a week after finishing with her. She beat the crap out of me. The wrist locks that she put on me on 2 fingers. Everything was Haneri. Just couldn't move. Okay? Didn't want to touch her for the rest of my life. I really didn't. That hurt. Okay? And I couldn't do anything to her. Absolutely amazing. So, let's stay in here. Now, Greg calls me the other day. He says, Bob, I need some warm-up techniques. Right?
Yes, something like that.
Okay? Something to warm up with. Some things to get us moving, get people moving, drills. Okay? Specifically, strength training, cardio, Agility, or just stuff related to judo?
The routine of the class.
The routine of the class.
30 minutes. First 30 minutes.
First 30 minutes of the class. Did you write that down?
No.
I didn't think so. I didn't read it.
All right. Where's my pen?
How are you going to cross that off and work on it if it's not there? How are you going to make notes? Okay, because these are all living, breathing pieces for you right now. When something happens that marks one of your goals, I want you to put a check by it. We did this. If something happens and you need to make a note to add to it, I want you to add to it. Okay? When something happens that, you know, it might not be relevant, you need to change it, I want you to change it. Because goals move with you. Right now, these are just perceptions. We're just thinking of what we want. We don't really know what's going to happen. I've already talked through some stuff with some people, and we've come up with different ideas. It gets deeper and deeper. And we want to get more and more focused and pinpoint on some things and get some specifics so we can write it down. Like I said, I want you to bring stuff away that you will remember. And this is it. It's going to be on this piece of paper. And I got plenty more. If you need to add, move it down, add more stuff, make your own notes. Please do that. Also remember the way your brain works. Everything I teach you tonight, if you don't use it in 24 hours, you won't remember it. Period. You've got to revisit that information within 24 hours to start working it into long-term memory. And if you did it 24 hours, in the next 24 hours, at least walk yourself through it mentally, you help add it more to long-term storage. And then it will be more available the next time you want to use it and recall it. You have no idea how many times Nancy comes up to me and says, I don't remember how to do this. I know. I know. Okay? And we go through it again. And we'll go through it again. And we'll go through it again. And at some point, bing, it will make sense. Okay? Now, warm-ups. I'm going to do some things and show you what I will do in a warm-up without wearing you out too bad. If you don't feel like you can do it, don't. If you don't want to do it, don't. But people like Damon, he's going to do everything. Okay? Too bad Greg's not out here. But he's getting up there in age too. All right? But we do want to get moving. And here's a book I want y'all to read. If you can find it, it's called Spark. I think it's Spark PE. And it's all the research on brain-based studies on cardio work, working aerobically. And they've gone in, and these guys have done the research and the proof on aerobic conditioning and what it does for your body. You think better, you think more clearly, it removes depression, it'll cure you of all kinds of illnesses, it will make you happy, it will make you more productive. But we're not talking, even Cooper, who said, you know, you had to work so long for 20 minutes and get that heart rate in that zone, he backed off, okay, so now you just have to get it up a little ways. Well, he's starting to look at this too and about to shoot it back up, because you got to get your heart rate up there to get that stuff working in your brain. They want you working pretty close to max. So you do have to work it. And I've been doing some of that, getting back into cardio stuff, because I haven't been doing it for a while. But when I was on my bike, I mean, Doug and I used to ride our bikes 10 miles, run 3 miles before judo, go to practice, have a great workout. Okay? Now I'm on the elliptical. I don't run anymore because my knees don't like it. My legs and muscles don't get it, but I can get on that elliptical and just get to breathing as hard as I want. Got my blues going. The world is good. Okay? So you do need to get some cardio in there. At Spark PE. If you need the authors and stuff, I can send that to you. And I'll give you my contact information before we leave. Really interesting book. Another book I was talking about the other night, a lot of people haven't read, is Verbal Judo. Okay? This comes from a law enforcement officer out of California who played judo as a kid and got tired of doing physical things. And he learned to use verbal judo and attack people, just learning how to use your words to diffuse situations and stuff, which helps avoid a lot of power struggles and conflicts if you have to deal with those on a daily basis like I do in schools and stuff. Teachers. Ugh. So you're really mad at me, are you? Yeah. Okay, what about? You know, you got to get them knocked down so you don't get that energy coming blasting at you. It's a really good book. All right? Cool? What time is it? What time? How long are we going to work tonight?
It's up to you, Bob.
That's up to these guys.
Okay, it's up to them, Bob.
I just got to talk.
Y'all want to go to 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get them working.
At a 39. All right. Now what about tomorrow? Same thing?
Start
What,
at
2
10,
hours?
And then your second session is at 2. I
Okay,
presume
so we're
like
just
a
going
lunch
2
break.
hours. Okay, yeah, we'll survive that. All right, let's, John.
John.
John. Easy, nice and easy. Don't stress anything, don't strain anything. All right, make an easy circle. Roll your brains around. Slow, slow, slow. Every year I hear more and more sand in there. Reverse. Look to the left. Look to the right. Look up. Look down. Roll your shoulders. Reverse. Arms. Reverse. Now just do one arm, full motion. And the other one. Twist and don't shout. Relax. Twist up high. Throw it over your shoulder. Hips. I think this is one of the best things you can do in your life right here. Work those hips. Reverse. Knees. Reverse. Ankles. Do that to my students. Ankles? What's an ankle, coach? How do you spell it? A-N-K-L-S. Roll your toes under. And if you're coordinated, you should be able to roll forward. I know. Feet apart. Now, it's a slippery floor, so you got to hold yourself up. Push your hips forward. Now down, just put your hands on the floor. Slip sliding away. When you feel comfortable, put your hands in between your feet. And when you're good with that, put your hands behind your feet. Now out in front. Have a seat. Cross the leg, give it a big hug. The more I do this, the happier my body is. Years of bike riding is rough on your legs. Shortened all my muscles. I used to have a 14-inch reach past my toes until I started riding bikes. Yep. Moving in that little circle for so many miles, everything shortens. Yeah, had a full split, straddle and vertical, horizontal. They called me Abby Normal. Okay, legs out, back straight, hands on your knees. Tell all my kids to watch TV like this. It's by pulling your back up, pulls from the hamstrings, toes pointed to the ceiling. Your hamstrings are two muscles. If you lay your feet over, you can stretch further. See how it releases the pressure? Okay? We train our bodies for years to let those feet lay over, especially us pronators. And you can only stretch the shortest muscle. So keep your toes up. Works that short muscle. First time I introduced the word shins to my students. Most of the students I teach are Hispanic. And they go, "Coach, what's a shin?" I said, "Think shin guard." "Oh, okay, yeah, coach, I know where they go. Right there." They're so cute. So one thing I'll miss from teaching. I get more hugs every day. I'm the meanest person at school, too. Teachers can't figure out why they like me so much. I tell them because I love them. Now see if you can grab your toes. Takes 2 minutes for a muscle to stretch to its max. Okay? Your muscles, I don't know if y'all are physiologists. If I'm wrong, correct me. At a microscopic level, your muscles slide in and out, the myofibrils. So when you make a muscle, it gets bigger because they slide together. Then you got the ATP and ADP on those little myofibrils. That's what gives them the energy to make them work. So when you stretch it out, it takes about 2 minutes, just complete relaxation, to really stretch those muscles. Now on the other side of that, a tired muscle loses its ability to relax. So when they come together, they don't necessarily release. So it's easier to hurt a muscle when you're tired. So you have to watch your people. When you're getting tired, it's time to slow down, and yourself. Because if you're still going, all of a sudden, whoosh, ding, and they kind of stretch out like, you know, those six-pack plastic tab things you used to pull them. Yeah. Okay. Well, they just kind of stretch like that, and then they have to heal back together, and you can't do much till they heal. So you gotta watch that stuff. All right. What's the best way to work your stomach muscles?
To stretch them?
To work them, exercise them.
You're talking all including your breathing, just
Well, good question. Do they all work the same, or are they different? They're all different. So you can't just do one exercise and work all your stomach muscles.
the latest thing I hear is you go bilateral.
Okay? Do the bilateral, and that's working what groups? Yep, the obliques on the side, your love handles. Okay? So just by twisting back and forth, everybody's got different ranges of motion. Now, you young guys, you get to pick your feet up and do this. Bend your knees, take the strain off your lower back. Okay, that's one. What else? Crunches. What's a crunch? What's a crunch? Contraction of the central muscles, which are your abdominis erectus. So we're going to lay down, right? And how far up are we going to come?
Shoulder blades.
How far does that muscle contract?
Up to about here, 45 degrees maybe?
If you were just to take that muscle out and put an electrode on it and zap it, how far would it move?
6 inches.
1.5 to 2. Okay? So most of us, by the time we get to here, we're not using our abs anymore. You're using everything in your hips. And it shuts your abs off. So, one thing Cooper did that was good is he designed a fitness test. Y'all sit up for a second. When they do the abs, the kids have a strip that goes under their legs. And their fingertips have to start on one piece of that strip, and they curl up past the other strip, and then go back. Just like that. Now, for 8, 9, up to about 9 years of age, that strip is 3 inches. From 10 on up, it's 4.5 inches. So put your hands on the floor. Make sure your head touches the ground each time. Keep your feet on the floor. Don't lift them, because nobody's allowed to hold their feet either. Now we're just going to curl up and down. Just let your hands slide right across the floor. Exhale when you go up. It helps to make that contraction a little bit more efficient. Now, Tony Little, anybody remember his videos? He did that Strider thing for a while. And he put out an abdominal thing. And one thing I got from that is put your hands on that muscle now. Just put your fingers on it. Now put it up on the top part, up by your ribs. Now when you curl up, you should feel a good contraction. Then put your hands in the middle. You should feel a good contraction. Now put your hands down on the lower end of that thing, and you should feel a good contraction. And that means you're working that muscle. Okay? So those are what I recommend. The best exercise I've ever seen for your abs comes from Lama's class. I know all you guys have been there, right? Absolutely wonderful exercise. It looks funny to do that. And when you learn this, you can even do it standing up. Since you know that muscle only contracts so far, what you're going to do is get on your hands and your knees. Just watch first. You're going to exhale all your air so you get your diaphragm and everything out of the way in here. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull your hips forward, and you're going to pull your chin forward and hold for a count of 4. And relax. And you'll feel that thing pull all the way. Everybody try that. This is one of the most fabulous ab work.
Forward like up, or
What?
your chin's doing this side?
No, it comes down.
Oh, okay.
Try to meet your hips. And hold for 4 and do it again.
You exhale?
I exhale, I blow out. When you exhale, see how you get a better contraction? You get more movement? Try inhaling and doing that motion. It doesn't move very far, but it really does work that muscle. Okay? I don't want y'all to wear yourselves out on that. But if I were y'all, I'd do about 10 of those every day for a while. Why? Sadler. You're in that circular pattern, about 400 miles a week, times 4 or 5 years. Okay? It shortens everything to that pattern. And your lateral movement goes away. So you have to do something for your lateral movement when you're running or doing something for that amount of time. All right? So when you're sitting, these muscles shorten. And guess what else relaxes when you sit? Okay? So your hips end up tilting back. This goes forward. You lose posture. You lose tone. You tighten up here, so every time you get up and walk, over a lot of years, it really messes with you. You get a lot of spine, a lot of problems down here, lower back. So just keep that in the back of your brain. Okay? This is a lifestyle sport.
Do you have a favorite hamstring besides this?
That's my favorite. I also like using towels. Do it one at a time. And you can put a towel over here, and I'll just sit and watch TV and just relax. Because this muscle, you got to get it completely relaxed, your quads. And you just, and when you're over a certain age, like I am, it takes forever to get those things stretched back out again. Forever. All right, core muscles, the last of them, on your tummies. And lift your side. And lift it up gently and slowly, about 10 times. This works the rest of those core muscles. Try to keep those feet down. Don't let your feet come up. Isolate your back muscle. It's also part of the new fitness test is how high the kids can lift their chins up without arching or hyperflexing, which is hard to teach them because that creates another set of health problems later if you don't have the flexibility in your spine. Just keep your head down when you arch up. You just completely isolate your back muscles. Yeah. There are kids going, look, coach. How high is this? I don't know, the ruler only goes to 12. What do I write? 12. Okay. All right, strength exercises. What's important? Back. It's got to be strong. Legs. Quad. Knees. What else?
Neck.
Neck's good. How are you sure to put a mastoids? Gotta have those. Otherwise, if we choke you, make you look funny. All muscles. And the key word is balance. Okay? You've got to balance the systems. One year, one of the ropes guys I used to work with out of Maine, Carl Ronke, he played pro football back when there were leather helmets and was a genetic freak. He said he set a goal for himself one time to do 10,000 pull-ups in a year, and he did it. So I said, I can do that. I did it. Okay, 33 a day. When you're sick and you can't do them, the next day is really hard. All right? But what did that get me? An imbalanced system. Because I worked the back, but I didn't work the front. So now, I'm dealing with that now. Okay, this was like 15, 20 years ago. So you can't over-strengthen one area and not, balance back out the other. So I'm having to go back and work the front side. So whatever it is you do, work it. You don't have to kill yourself because you're not all pro football players, all right? But you do not want to work the whole system gently. Now, as far as training goes, most of your ex-phys guys, your kines guys that are training athletes, it's short-term, intense workouts to build power and strength and cardio. They're not doing 3-hour workouts anymore. They get to the gym, they work for an hour, hour and a half max, and they're done. But it's all out. My nephew's playing for SMU now. Okay, at 13, he was 6 foot and 250. Now he's 6'4" and 320. He's not like Moose's size. Okay, and but he just got back from the Hawaii Bowl. They won to SMU, but just unbelievably powerful. And that's what they do: short, intense workouts. And sometimes we have to do it here in our dojo because we don't get any other exercise. So we need to find a way to do that safely. But sometimes, you know, I go to the gym. That's what they're for. That way I can save the dojo just for practice. But just keep that in mind. If you guys are going to compete and get really athletic and all that stuff, then you got to do stuff outside of here. And save this just for your training time. Okay? So, you know, push-ups, sit-ups, the back. We did the whole core thing. To me, those are the most important. Your legs will happen because we walk all day long. Go up and down stairs, do those kinds of things. We work our arms all day long. But core is extremely important. And our neck and posture. Okay? All right, everybody down this end of the mat. Too much talk. Oh, y'all skipped so nicely. I just wanted to check your skill level out. Okay, now we're going to add some plyometrics to it, which plyometrics is explosive power to the legs, which we need in judo sometimes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to skip and try and get your leg up as high as you possibly can. And bounce off that floor. Now if you got knee injuries, ankle problems, please don't do this. Go. You don't feel it? Now if we had boxes, you'd really be in trouble. You ever watch them do boxes? You got different size boxes, you jump up, down, without stopping in the middle. Okay, this time you're going to run, or you're going to take short steps, and you're going to kick yourself in the bottom. Let's go. Kick those heels up. Good. Excellent. My favorite one. You're going to jump from one foot to the other. And try not to let your heels touch the ground. Go. All right. Get your heart rate going, doesn't it? Okay, then comes the part where we lay down on the mat and we clean it. On your tummies. Now, this is a fun exercise. Hands flat, pull, turn over, no pushing. I watched the French women's judo team do this, and all the guys were sitting on them. Remember, don't wear yourself out. That's good, right here. You're done, don't worry. What you think. On this one, you're going to put your hands on your lapels. You're going to arch, and you're just going to walk on your back. Here. Keep those hips up, and just walk. change. Now what we're doing here is training our judo muscles, training our core. This is training your grappling muscles. Very important. Okay, next of course is to shrimp. For the newbies, I'll let you use your feet. So you start with your hands here. I'm going to go to my right side. I'm going to turn, come down, and push here. And just walk down the mat. Now, some of you older guys, you might want to try not using your feet, which adds a little bit more challenge. And what this does is it trains your muscles to work when somebody's on top of you. It teaches you how to move your body. Just like we walk all day long, well, our bed's only this big and we don't go far to get out of it. Okay, and we don't have a surface that we move around on in this plane. So we have to train our bodies how to move on this surface. And then when we put somebody on top of you, it gets a little tougher. All right, so try shrimping. One activity we did a lot when I was wrestling and playing judo in college is dog piles. And they'd put me on the bottom, put one person on top, and I had to get out. Then they put two people on top, and I had to get out. Then they put three people on top, and I had to get out from under them. Then they put 4 people, 5, 6. Then they put the whole club on me, and I'd get out. And it's all from using these core muscles. Learning how to move. Little tiny movements are very important. Now if you're getting tired, don't wear yourselves out. Guess what's next? Back shrimps. Down here I'm going to turn, use the bottom foot, live toes, and I'm going to pull my hips forward. And change, step, pull the hip forward. Here. Touch and pull. Touch and pull. You got to lift your hips up to get the rotation on your shoulders.
Didn't break it. Oops.
Pretty cool thing.
Yes, the best mic for really moving around I've ever heard so far.
To where you can spin. Pop it. Pop it. Pop. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hachiro Ishii. This guy, he was our wrestling instructor. He was all high school champion, Judo. And he would do that. He's the only guy I ever saw could lay on his side. And you know how I do the booty thing and shoot? He does it from his side. And he can clear the ground this high.
I'll show you. It's just a...
Use that bottom foot. You guys tired yet? Play. Feel, sense, roll, have fun, and see what you end up with. Does that make sense? Okay, get a partner, sit back to back.
Sit back.
Now, before I didn't say go, just sit back to back. We got people without partners here.
Get somebody, Susan. There you go. Get in. Get better.
Just go back. All you're doing is
Now, in a minute, we're going to choose one person to be up, one person to be down. The person that's up has to understand their table and their balances, on and off balance, because you have to maintain some kind of understanding of where you are in space and time while you're moving. And the person on the bottom, well, their job, of course, is to escape and get out. And we're not going to move at more than, 25%. I don't want you moving hard. I want you using little movements so you can feel the different things. But sense and feel, understand, look for the holes as you're escaping and as you're trying to pin. And then look for the movements and different ways to move out and around without letting go of each other. Does that make sense? We're going to start with a hold. And if you don't know a hold, just hold them. Give them a big hug. Huggy snuggies. Okay? Now, rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Hold it up over your head so you can see each other.
Good.
All right.